Good morning, and today we are not out and about anywhere, but I've just got back from the Tour du Mont Blanc and I thought I'd go through all the things that I packed. So let's start. Let's start with things that aren't in my bag. Hat, cap, essential really for me. Don't have a lot of hair, need to keep the sun off my head. So yeah, wore that every day, pretty much all day. Other end of my body, shoes. I normally wear walking boots, but I switched up to some trail runners. These are Ultra Cloud Peak 7s, I think. They're zero drop, so the heel and the toe have got the same. There's no sort of wedge or slope. And these, let me say, these are just brilliant. I absolutely love them. They're like walking slippers. They were so comfortable. They were light. They coped with all of the rockiness, all of the mud. They're not waterproof, which is a good thing because it means that they dry really quickly. I didn't really get them wet very often. A couple of times crossing a stream, more because I just wasn't looking carefully. I was distracted by the mountains, so I might have got my foot a little bit wet. But within minutes or certainly an hour, they were dry. Great. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Not good in sort of Britain's boggy, marshy winter, muddy fields so necessarily, but great in the mountains. Right, let's go to my pack. So this, as you can see, is the Osprey Rook 50. So it's a 50-litre pack. It's not the lightest, but it is very sturdy, and it turns out to be very, very comfortable. It's got good sort of ventilation in the back there so that it's not touching your back. It also has a system that's very easy to adjust the height. So yeah, really pleased with the rucksack. Didn't have any problems with it at all. Let's start then. What have we got on the top? Book of crosswords. Although I went for a walk, you're not walking all the time. You do have lots of time travelling and also just spending time in camp. So something to do. So no bad thing. Following that theme, I also took map book, just as backup really, and a Kindle, just to again have something to read when I was travelling or at camp. Next out, a couple of Nalgene bottles. So I used an alcohol stove. I'll get that out later. I used these basically to store some fuel in, some alcohol, which I got from a supermarket when I got there, so you can't take them on full of alcohol on the plane. First aid kit, essential really. Luckily didn't really need to delve into it much. The usual stuff, plasters, painkillers. One thing, nail clippers. If you're away for 10 days, 2 weeks nearly, your toenails and your fingernails will grow. Toenails especially, if they start to get sharp, they will dig in and potentially cause blisters. So yeah, that's a really good thing. Blister tape, the usual stuff. One thing as well, I did take some Leukotape P, which I decanted off the big reel and just wrapped around a spare battery for my head torch. That stuff was brilliant. I didn't really need it very much. I did have one little hot spot on my toe, which I wrapped in that and solved it straight away. Super stuff. What's next? Water filter. This is the Katadyn B3. I use this quite a lot. There are lots of places to fill up water, but sometimes they don't always fall exactly the right places, whereas you do cross quite a lot of streams. Well, some people will drink straight from a mountain stream. I think it's always better just to filter it. You never know what's upstream. Doesn't weigh a lot. Really, really good. Spoon, for eating. Knife, this is a little Opinel blade. Used it a few times, cutting up food, cutting up pizzas. sausage, that sort of thing. Again, really handy little thing. I did take some paracord. This is what's left over. It's really useful. At the end of each day, I tried to wash my clothes if I could. I made a little makeshift washing line. Had one inside the tent and one I sort of hung up in a tree or from my poles. Yeah, really useful. Doesn't weigh a lot. What's this one? Yes, this I didn't use really, but always good to have. This is spare sort of tissue and toilet paper and things like that. On the Tour du Mont Blanc, you pass by refuges and towns and restaurants. You can usually find places, and the campsites themselves sometimes have toilets. So yeah, but it's good to have backup. Again, something I didn't wear, sunglasses. I tend not to wear sunglasses that often. It was bright, but I took them, didn't use them, probably wouldn't take them again. This is my wash kit, so the usual stuff: deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, a bit of Vaseline, a razor, shower gel, the usual stuff just to keep clean. These are electrolyte sports drinks tablets, so really useful. It was hot on some days, so my water bottle, just fill that with water, pop one of those in. Not only does it give you sort of isotonic sort of minerals and salts that you need, but it actually just adds a bit of flavour as well. Pencil, that's to go with my crossword book. Little dead cat thing for my phone, didn't use that, should have done really. I think, oh no, head torch, yeah, that handy in the back on the top of my rucksack. Didn't need it, didn't use it, but wouldn't be without it. Right, let's have a look on the outside. So at the moment my trekking poles are stuck to my rucksack. Also they're clipped on. Trekking poles, I would say something like Tour du Mont Blanc is a lot of uphill, a lot of downhill. Almost essential. Certainly essential for me because my tent also is a trekking pole tent, so these are the tent poles for my tent. Couldn't have done it without them. Yeah, absolutely would not do a walk like this without trekking poles. So, top of my rucksack, I've got little carabiners. Use those after I'd washed my clothes. Sometimes they didn't get a full time to dry, so when I was walking, I just hooked my t-shirt or shorts or whatever onto those, and they could dry in the sunshine while I was walking. The rucksack also has these side pocket bits, so little slip mat, use that quite often. It's good just to, when you have a break or sit down, have something to sit on or kneel on. I took these are just little lightweight sliders. Once you get to camp, sometimes you want to just get your day trekking shoes off. And they're just something to wear around camp, get to the showers, etc. This little trowel for fairly obvious reasons. I think if you need or get caught short on the trail, you can dig a little hole and do your business in there. I never needed it, but I think it's socially responsible to do that, to take that, so that you're not in danger of fouling up the path or off the path. Right, other side pocket. This was my poncho. This is a Frog Togs poncho. It's very big. It's made of a sort of, well, it's waterproof, but it's almost like sort of paper. It's quite light. It is breathable, and obviously it has sort of vents down the side as well. So this kept me dry. Not only went it go over me, went over my backpack as well. So although my backpack has a rain cover, this was an additional rain cover on top of that, which is great. A backpack, all the contents of it never got wet, even though we had some pretty heavy rain. What else have we got in here? Yeah, my additional water bottle. It's just empty water bottle from a shop. I had 2 of those, one on each side, plus the one on the front. This is just a little rab windproof jacket. Really handy, very lightweight, and yeah, something to wear when it starts sort of drizzling or the winds get a bit chilly. Put that on, it keeps you warm, but doesn't take up much room. Okay, so done everything on the outside of the rucksack. Let's go on the inside now. Okay, so this is something that's now had been at the top of my rucksack. For most of the trip it was at the bottom. This is a bag. So I took my rucksack as hold luggage, so I had to check it in. I had my tracking poles on the outside, and I wasn't really confident that it would make it through sort of baggage handling. So this is a sort of a very lightweight bag that you can shove the rucksack with the poles in, and basically just check it into the aircraft. So yeah, that was useful. The rest of the time it just was at the bottom of my bag all the time. Again, this is something that I only really used when travelling to and from. It's just a very little additional lightweight rucksack. So stuff that I wanted to have on the plane and on the buses and things like that with me. Just put that in there, and again that just holds up really tiny. Just lived in the bottom of my rucksack most of the journey. Probably didn't need it, but it was nice to have. Okay, next thing is my tent. I'm not going to get it out. This is not in its original case, it's just in a dry bag stuff sack. It's the Lanshan 2 trekking pole tent. I'll put some pictures up of it. Yeah, I love this tent. I've had it a few years. I've never had any problems with it. It's reasonably lightweight, reasonably compact, goes up quite easily. Nothing really I'd change about it. One thing maybe, the pegs, I've already changed out the pegs for slightly beefier aluminium ones, but many places the ground was quite rocky, quite hard. I reckon I would have done better with a couple of extra, just stronger tent pegs. That would have helped, but other than that, wouldn't have changed it. Next thing, waterproof. This is lightweight Pelly Hansen waterproof. Hardly wore it once or twice, mainly just stuck to the poncho. Thing with walking in a waterproof jacket is you end up, especially when it's quite mild, I end up just sweating almost as much inside as I do. So I did wear it, but only really when it was absolutely chucking it down, and I wore it in combination with the poncho. This one is down jacket. Never had to wear this actually walking, but once you get to camp in the evening, certainly later on in the evening after it starts to get dark, temperature drops, so having something warm is really useful. Down jacket's ideal for that. As you can see, it squashes down to very small, doesn't weigh a lot. Next, microfiber towel, really useful to have a towel. These microfiber ones, very lightweight. Again, don't take up much room, dry very quickly, ideal. Okay, this bag is my bag of electronic bits and pieces, so quickly go through these. This is an SD card reader that plugs into my phone, so I could, if my phone memory got full, I could decant sort of videos and photos off onto a card and save those. Charger with European adapter and different USB slots, obviously essential for recharging anything. This is a little torch sort of lamp thing. Hardly used it, probably wouldn't take it again. Power bank, so yeah, as well as charging the phone, charge a power bank, and then you can then charge any other devices you have from that. Well, pretty essential, I'd say, nowadays. The other thing I did take was my old phone, a spare phone, which I had loaded a load of films and TV programs, things like that. Again, just for when I was travelling or at night in a tent, just had something to watch, and it wouldn't. I could do that without risking running down the battery on my main phone. Then there's just various cables and spare batteries. Yeah, so that's that. Next. So this is actually something you're meant to put in a car window in the winter to keep the sun off it, but it's very lightweight, weighs almost nothing, and I use this. I just put it down underneath my sleep mat just to reflect a little bit more heat. Adds a tiny bit of cushioning, I suppose, but really it's just reflective for insulation purposes. It's literally light as a feather. You don't notice you got it in there. Next bag, as you can see, I put most things into individual little dry bags. Helps to organise them, helps me find them in my rucksack, and also keeps them dry just in case anything ever did get in there. This is my sock bag. Obviously I was wearing one pair of socks most of the time, so I had two pairs of lightweight merino wool hiking socks. These are sort of from Amazon. These were brilliant. These are absolutely great. Love them. And they went really, really well with the trail running shoes. And I did take one pair of waterproof socks as well, which were great to start with, but after a while, they do eventually, water gets down your leg and into the sock. And yeah, I probably wouldn't take these again. Good for the first hour, but after that, and the 2 days I did start wearing them, before lunchtime I'd swap them out and put the other socks back on. Okay, clothes. Obviously, this is all of the clothes I took, but some of the clothes I was wearing at the time. Lightweight shorts, running shorts. I think these are from Decathlon. Wore them every day. Absolutely brilliant. They're vented at the bottom. They dry really quickly. So yeah, washed them virtually every day. Dried overnight. Sometimes I put them on damp, but they, to be honest, as soon as you put them on and start moving, they dry if it's warm. This is a sun hoodie, so long sleeved sun top. Probably the wrong colour, dark blue. On the days it was really sunny, it just heated up too much, got too hot, so didn't end up wearing that as much, but it was useful just to wear around in the camp. So yeah, a good idea, but we'd probably have changed that slightly. This is just a lightweight t-shirt. This is actually, I only took one and realised I needed another, so I bought one out there, and this was just a cheap one I bought when I was out there. Long trousers. So I hardly wore these. I didn't wear them once to walk in, but in the camp in the evenings after it got a bit cooler. So these are just Montaigne Terra pants. They're great. But yeah, any sort of lightweight trousers would be fine. This was the sort of t-shirt I wore virtually every day walking. Again, it's just a Decathlon sort of cheap, lightweight walking t-shirt or running t-shirt. What can you say? Just it works. Okay, this one is a little bit different. So this is, don't know what make it is, but it's like it's almost like the principle is like a string vest. So it's like a sort of fine mesh. So again, weighs very, very little, but does actually give you quite a lot of warmth if you need it. So sometimes wore that at night to sleep in, or just sometimes around camp. Very occasionally wore it to walk in as well. These are just some merino wool leggings. Again, didn't wear them every day, but if I did, it would have been a sort of to sleep in. That's a sort of pyjama. Finally, excuse the colour. These I had two pairs of the other pair somewhere else. These are the underwear I wore, step one. These were brilliant. They're sort of bamboo viscose, sort of lightweight, but they've got this sort of, you can tell, sort of ultra glide panel. So in between, I didn't get any chafing at all. Really comfortable. So yeah, 2 pairs of those. 1 pair to wear, 1 pair is washing or drying. Actually, I've got a discount code which I'll put in the description below. If you're interested in one of those, you can get 50% off a pair for yourself. And that's the clothes. Getting near the bottom now. Okay, cook pot. This is just a titanium cook pot. It's a Sea to Summit, a foldable mug. And yeah, cook pot. I only really boiled water in it, and either I made noodles or just cups of tea, coffee. There's plenty of places to get food around the trail. This is the stove that goes with the cook pot. So it's an alcohol burning stove. It's a bit like a trangier. It's got like this felt, I suppose, something like that absorbs the alcohol and keeps it so that if you spill it, retains the liquid, doesn't spill out everywhere. So it's a safety feature. That just sits on top of a little thing like that. Pot goes on top. As you can see, very lightweight. Comes with a little pack, and you get these little wind guards that go around, aluminium windshield that goes around it. Yeah, didn't use it every day, but used it probably more often than not. And also in there is just a little lighter, sort of big lighter, obviously just to, it doesn't actually need to make a flame. It does. Just the spark will set the alcohol alight, and when you're cooking. Nearly at the bottom now. Okay, so there's a few things in here. So this is my sleep pad. This is the Trekology Luft UL80. I love this pad. It's not the lightest or smallest, but it is really thick and it's very comfortable. It has the outside sort of rails are very slightly wider or higher, thicker than the inside, so it does stop you sort of rolling off it. Also in here is a little flex tail pump. So use that to pump up the mattress. 2 reasons for that. One is it's just faster, you don't get out of breath, and also you don't get sort of the condensation from your breath inside the pump, which goes, or inside the pad, which is going to go mouldy. The other thing then is just a pillow, lightweight. Again, this is a Trekology pillow. Top tip on these things, probably true of any of these inflatable pillows, don't overinflate them. The trick or the temptation is to pump it up as hard as you can. I find that that's not as comfortable. To pump it fully up and then just let a little bit of air out, just so it's a little bit sort of floppy, and you get a much better night's sleep. Right, nearly there. Last thing, no, it's not last, but my sleeping bag. This was brilliant. This is so lovely. This is a down sleeping bag. It's a OEX Chimera EV 500. As you can see, packs down pretty small, but once you get it out, it does loft up really well. A lot of the time, it's actually too warm. I was using it fully unzipped, it's a bit like a quilt. A couple of nights it did get a bit chillier, and I did actually use it a bit more like a sleeping bag. So yeah, this would have gone down even colder than it did. I reckon I could be comfortable, near to zero if I had proper clothes and that. Right, nearly there. So this is just a bag of tea and coffee. I took a load of coffee bags. These are sort of Taylor Harrogate ones, but anyway. Yeah, boil the water, shove that in, leave it for a few minutes, and you've got a nice cup of coffee. And in tea bags. You know how tea bags work. This bag had my hat in, and it was meant to have my gloves in, but I forgot to take my gloves, which was silly. I would have used them if I'd had them, but I didn't. But I didn't. It wasn't a disaster. Didn't need them. Okay, getting near the bottom. A couple of cloths. So these didn't really use this one, but this is just a little, like almost like a flannel-like cloth, useful for wiping down your tent in the morning if it's got condensation on it. Whole host of reasons to use that. And I think that is it. One last thing, and that was in my rucksack. I put an Apple AirTag. Why did I do that? So two reasons. One is so that my family could track me, so I could share the idea of this with family. And as I was hiking on my own, they had sort of peace of mind. They could see where my progress and where I was. And I guess if I had got into difficulty or had gone missing, they would at least know my last location. And the other reason is for me, when I'm going through airports and things like that, I can check and see that, make sure that if my bag had got lost, I would know which airport it had ended up in. So yeah, useful thing. I think that's it. Okay, thank you. I hope that's helpful. Like I say, this isn't the lightest weight kit. Was probably around 12 to 13 kilos, which is, like I say, it's reasonably light, but certainly not ultra light. If you want to spend a lot more money, you can have a lot less stuff, or a lot lighter stuff. Is there anything I would take or change? No, I think virtually everything that I took, I used. The only thing I would have taken would have been lightweight gloves, and I forgot those, but got away with it. I could have bought some out there, but didn't need to. Okay, thanks for watching.